Hey, I'm Brian Bauer, and today I'm here to give you guys 6 different tips if you were gonna join online jams. No, not strawberry jam, like the musical kind of jams. So with the popularity of such videos such as the Ola England member jams, the Ultimate Shred collab, many other different kind of collabs online, as well as the Bauer Metal Riff battles, which are not popular, but they should be, you know, and having compiled a few of these things and have joined in some other jams, I'm bringing you 6 different things that I think that you guys should keep in mind when you are going to be entering one of these collabs. Number 1, follow instructions. Being a male, I know how hard following instructions can be. It's just a bunch of words, and who's gonna waste their time reading them? Well, you should actually read those instructions. Like IKEA furniture, if you don't read them, well, have fun putting it together, because it's gonna be kind of tough. Well, if you don't follow the instructions that you were given for a jam like this, it's gonna be kind of hard for the person putting it together to really work with your stuff. So if they give you some instructions, try to follow them the best you can. If you have questions, make sure to ask the questions. If I'm compiling something and you ask me questions, I'm gonna be super happy to answer those questions for you. And if you have some better idea, bring it forward, because maybe it'll help me out in the future too. So ask questions, follow instructions. Number 2, audio is the most important. I know this sounds super obvious. However, you need to have a way to record your guitar, okay? So you're going to need some sort of interface. These days, interfaces are super cheap. You can get the Focusrite, Scarlett stuff. You don't have to give the biggest, most expensive interface. Even the lowest end Scarlett is going to allow you to be in a video like this and do any kind of basic recording. I'm sure there's more options out there, like plugging things into an iPad and whatnot, but you're gonna have to record some way. You can't use camera audio and just give them that, because that's not going to sound good. Generally speaking, the people compiling this are going to want isolated tracks without the backing track and stuff there. So you're gonna have to need to record some way. So you're gonna need a DAW of some sort. I highly recommend using Reaper or something like Studio One, whatever you have. Even Audacity will probably do the job here. But you're going to need something to record with. You don't need to have any expensive amps or anything like that. Amp sims these days are working absolutely awesome, and you can get some really cheap ones from companies like Audio Assault and whatnot. So it's fairly affordable to do, so it's open to a whole lot more people these days. So we need to get our audio right. So interface, some sort of amp sim, some sort of amp. You need to be able to record. Simple as that. Number 3, isolated audio. Generally speaking, you are going to be given a backing track or something that these people want you to record over. So you're going to put that into your DAW and you're going to record that. However, they are going to want an isolated guitar solo or bass solo or keyboard solo, because they are going to want to mix that into the audio so all the levels are the same for every performer in the video. So generally speaking, the tracks are probably gonna have like 4 drum hits or some little intro in there for like to count you in before you start playing. So I highly recommend doing this. If there's 4 snare hits or something as an example in the backing track, leave those in and don't play going into those. Leave those 4 hits in and then cut the backing track out, and then leave your isolated guitar solo or guitar riff or something like that, you know? Whatever it is that you play. If you leave that there, then it's much easier for the person to sync up in their DAWs to, you know, keep you in time and stuff. And then it's a whole lot less work for the person doing that. If you don't keep those beats in, if you have the tracks there, make sure that your track starts at the same time and you don't cut off however many seconds and it just all of a sudden starts with guitar or whatever instrument, you know. Just keep, if it's 4 seconds going in, leave that 4 seconds there, and it's gonna be just as easy to line it up in most cases. So you can do those 2 things. It's pretty simple, but just do that and it's gonna work out, and then it's a whole lot less work for somebody else, and then they're not chasing you to leave the 4 snare hits in or whatever the intro is or whatever count in that is there in the track. Pretty simple, so just do one of those 2 things. Easy? Yeah. Number 4, video. In this case, audio quality is going to matter more than video quality. Here's the reason why. Syncing your audio with your playing with the final track. So there are two things that you can do. Number one, have clear camera audio. Generally speaking, your cameras, especially DSLRs and mirrorless setups, are all gonna have a decent built-in mic. However, I do put a mic on at least one of the cameras when I'm using one of my cameras there, so I get a really nice high quality audio signal. This doesn't just apply to guitar, it applies to doing this video here because my audio is coming from the SM7B. I am not using the Rode video mic that is on top of my camera, so we're not hearing that at all. However, that mic does serve a purpose. Clearer audio so we can sync the audio that I'm recording here on Reaper to having the video, so that I'm not trying to line things up and we seem like we're completely out of sync. Whether you want to mime your parts or you want to play them live, make sure your video audio is clear, because here's your second option. You can sync your recorded audio with the backing track yourself and give that to the person compiling the jams. However, they're probably going to still mix that other audio that they are working with to keep everybody equal. But if you sync your audio and video yourself with that, and if you can get it right, it's gonna make it a whole lot easier. If you have some crazy amount of room noise, like a vacuum cleaner or something going on, you're trying to record or mime this stuff, then you try to put it into a program like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, it's just gonna hear and it's gonna not know how to sync it up. Now, in some cases, you can do this right. I've had this happen as well, where you try to sync something in the program, just cannot figure it out. It happens, but if you do one of these two things, then it's gonna make it a whole lot easier for not only you, but for the person compiling the jam, and they're gonna be a whole lot happier. Number 5, video quality. So my light just went out, so it's time to talk about lighting in your videos. If you are going to be recording videos for one of these jams, you want them to look good. While it's not the most important thing, people are visual and they like nice looking videos. We got our audio down, so here's a couple little tips. Have a light on for your videos. Right now, I am using a light to light my face up. I also have the lights on in my room. Unfortunately, it's dark outside. I have to record these things at nighttime most of the time. However, if you can record during the day, keep your curtains and stuff open and use natural light, and your videos are gonna look a whole lot better. And one of the things, like, you can use a phone. A phone is great for video recording. You don't need a mirrorless or DSLR. Phones are awesome. However, in phones, the sensors are really small, so they aren't gonna be able to handle ISO processing so well. What I mean by ISO, that's light compensation or light sensitivity to the sensor. But if the more you crank that up, the noisier your image gets, or grainy. That grainy look, well, your videos will look like that. I mean, there's some on my channel, depending on the aesthetic you're going for, you generally speaking want to keep that lower, so natural light from the windows. Another quick tip here is to use 24 frames per second. That is the cinematic look. So no matter whatever you're using for like a DSLR, a mirrorless, or a phone, anywhere from 24 to 30 FPS is gonna be good. The reason I'm gonna use 24 frames per second, because it slows that shutter speed down. You're gonna double your shutter speed. So if you're using 24 frames per second, we need to double that as close as we can, so we can get 1 to 50th of a second, which allows a little more light to come in. You can choose the amount of aperture you want to use. Aperture is how wide your lens is open. Wider it is, the more light that it lets in. However, you're gonna have a shallower depth of field. You know, there's a billion videos about this out there, but that little bit will help you out a lot too. And remember, all your phones these days are more than adequate to do a video for a jam video, you know? Pretty simple. Remember, audio is more important, but that's one of the main things right there. Number 6, etiquette. Do not share your recording or your video to the internet publicly before the main video is out. The idea of a video like this is to showcase all the different players and not just you. Remember, this isn't your video. You are just a part of a much bigger video. So wait till it comes out. I know you're super excited to share your stuff. And saying that, in the 2 videos I've compiled, I did not have this problem for 1 second. Everybody was wonderful. If you're not sure if you can share it ahead of time, just ask. Generally speaking, the answer is no, but I'm sure somebody will say, hey, I don't care, but ask first. And also another thing, when you were sharing this stuff to YouTube, make sure you were linking to the full video. Some people might even give you the full video to put on your channel, and you might just put your individual one up on Instagram, for example. Really, I'd rather have everybody go to the main video, and then you can just post your section to any one of your channels. Just make sure you're giving credit to who wrote it, the main video, and maybe even make mention of everybody else that's in the video. Unfortunately, with Instagram, the real big problem is that you can only tag upwards of 10 people. So it makes it kind of a pain, but just make sure you're referencing the main video. All right, and we have one bonus tip. It's to have fun. Music is not a competition here, guys. If you are in an all-inclusive jam, yes, somebody is going to be a whole lot better than you. I hear this myth going around all the time. I wish I was good enough to join one of these jams. 10 chances to 1, you are good enough to be in one of these jams. Unless you've been playing for like 1 or 2 days, maybe you should practice a little bit more. But you've been playing for a few years and people are saying, hey, who wants to join this? Generally speaking, they're gonna let anybody do it as long as you're not a dick. You don't have to be the best shredder in the world. You don't have to have the most intricate riffs. I know that you think that, well, these people are going to be a whole lot better than myself. Well, guess what? I get my ass kicked in almost every video I'm in, but that doesn't stop me from doing it. There's always going to be somebody better than you. It's not a competition, but it is a bit of a healthy competition. So do your best. And at the end of the day, make sure you're having fun. This is all about having fun and getting out there and meeting new people and doing new things. Every time you do this, it's a new experience, and every time you're gonna do this, you're gonna get better. You might start at the bottom, but if you are starting at the bottom, the only way you can go is up. You're gonna get better, so make sure you're getting out there and have fun doing it. You don't have to be the best, just have fun. Anyway, I really hope this video is actually quite helpful to people. There's gonna be a whole lot more online jams out there over time. It is, 2020 after all, and we live in the age of the internet. So I really hope this has helped out. These are just a few things I've thought up. So if you've got some ideas, put them down in the comments below. It's like, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I don't know everything, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of different opinions on this. And I just want to say one thing, that I'm not singling out anybody or anything like that. I just think this will help people out. So, do the regular stuff, click the subscribe button and any other videos over here, blah, 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 blah. See you later.